I'm Jen and I'm Team Edward. Welcome to August. My video this week is about an update to my 10 steps to writing your novel in 2020 video, which I will link down below in the description. I've been working on the same novel now for about 2 months, and I've made some progress on the 10 steps, and I wanted to share how that's been coming along with all of you. This week especially, I've been working on the novel with some serious focus, and I'd like to encourage everyone out there who's working on a novel, a short story, a poem, a script, a podcast, whatever you're working on, keep moving forward. Whether you've written 1 word or 1,000 words, even if you just put together a playlist or a Pinterest board to help inspire you for your next writing session, keep going. You're making progress and you're doing great. Hopefully the 10 steps will help you make progress as well. Step 1 is intention. I've kind of updated my intention. My goal in May was to work on the novel for 3 hours each week. And to be honest, I haven't been tracking that, but I know that I haven't been hitting it. So I used a tracker from someone named David C., and he has productivity tools, which I will also link in the description, that I've been using easily for about a decade in conjunction with my bullet journal. And his newest tracker, bing, is called the Destructometer. And that is something that will help you kind of bang out whatever project it is that you're working on. So I've set up my Destructometer sheet to track working on my novel through the month of August and to sort of see how that helps me move forward and keep track of how much time I'm putting towards my novel, whether it's researching, reading other books that are related to it, or writing the novel itself. Each of these little stars is 15 minutes. And then at the end of that, that's 4 hours. So I'm just going to try and get to 3. And then of course I've written down each week here at the beginning, and this is just working on what I'm calling right now showtime. I didn't really want to spend too much time creating a tracker in my bullet journal or trying to draw one that I really liked or trying to make it look perfect, so I went right to a tried and true productivity tool website that I've been using and that I trust. Step 2 is accountability, and to be honest, I haven't been checking in with my accountability buddies. That's on me, and that's really all there is to say about it. I need to get better at doing that. I'm hoping the tracker will make it a little bit easier to check in with my accountability buddies, and to take advantage of time when I have it, rather than just waiting for a big old chunk of time to magically appear, which it won't. Even if I put in a half hour so far this week, I'll have something to report. Step 3 is to start mapping, which I did. I created my premise last month, or 2 months ago, sorry, and I did not share it in my last video, but I'll share it now. A demon living on Earth tricks a human into marrying her to avoid consequences for something in her past, TBD, but the human turns out a demigod, and the two must learn to navigate a shared existence as they unexpectedly fall in love. It's pretty simple. I've continued working on the outline, writing character and setting studies as the months have gone on, and I'm typing them into the computer this week so that they're easier to move around and open up no matter what I'm working on. They'll also be easier to sort of work on and determine whether or not they'll end up in the book itself, or if they're just background work that I file away in my brain. This work has all been incredibly helpful because it's forced me to make decisions, which is something I'm not very good at, especially when it comes to plot. I like to keep my options open, and unfortunately that means I end up rewriting one scene a few different times over with very minimal changes, just because I feel like reworking it. Focusing on mapping the story overall and making even small decisions like where my characters live and what they do for a living, whether or not they're left-handed, helps inform me about my story in ways that I actually didn't expect. Step 4 is to share. And this is one of my greatest weaknesses. Many writers don't like sharing their work, especially when it's in the drafting phase. I haven't been sharing chunks of my novel, and I should probably do that. Before coronavirus set in, I was going to regular open mic nights at the library and sharing other pieces of things that I've written and getting fairly positive feedback. But of course, that's off the table now. In the meantime, I have been getting better about posting fanfiction to AO3, and I gotta admit, getting an email at the end of the day or the end of the week with a bunch of kudos and comments from people that have no reason to read my stuff feels really good. It's a nice little hit of dopamine. Step 5 is to read your competition. And again, I'm struggling a little bit with this step. I'm confident that the book will be in the romance department. I'm also confident it will be supernatural versus paranormal. You can watch my original video for a breakdown of what those two terms mean as far as book marketing goes. I'm also sure that it will be slice of life rather than action or adventure, considering much of the conflict will arise between the two main characters figuring out what coexisting looks like, considering that my female main character is a demon and my male main character is a demigod. If you've got any recommendations on what you think I should read or what I should look into, please drop them in the comments. I would love to get any guidance on this step of the process. Step 6 is to create your outline, and this is where the bulk of my work has gone in the last 2 months. I started with the scene ideas that I showed in the original video, and then I pulled out events and put them on note cards. I loosely relied on the 3-act structure from the Save the Cat Writes a Novel beat sheet, which I learned about from Jessica Brody's Udemy class, and again, link in the description. I've outlined the major events that need to happen in the book and then organized them in a way that makes sense. It helped me with the goal that I talked about in the first video, creating an arc from beginning to end, which means that as I work on these scenes, I will at the very least know where I need to go from point A to point B, without completely closing myself off to some fun ideas along the way. Step 7 is to start writing. I still haven't actually written my first chapter, but that's my goal for this upcoming week, to figure out how this book begins and what's going to happen in the absolute introductory chapter. I'm going to keep whatever I write this week as a guidepost moving forward, and as I said in my first video, this chapter may end up getting completely changed or deleted and replaced with the second chapter, but at least I'll have somewhere that I've begun. I've also decided that for now, I'm going to write the book from multiple points of view. I've written both from Meg's point of view and Jason's point of view, and I like them both a lot. That also may change somewhere down the line, but for now, it's what's moving me, so that's what I'm going to do. Some of the writing that I've done this month has actually been inspired by Natalia Lee's Preptober workbook, and she has a page in there that is character exercise prompts, and it asks questions about your characters, like, your character wins the lottery, what do they do with the money? And it may not have a place in your book, but now I know that if Jason won the lottery, he would likely lose the ticket, which informs me a lot about his character. Whereas I've decided that Meg, even though she's a demon, would probably take that money and use it for chaotic good. Again, these decisions help inform me about the character, about their decision-making process, about what they would do put in that kind of situation. So I'll know how to move forward with the situations that do end up in the book. Step 8 is to develop your platform. I have not launched a website yet, obviously. I have certainly been working on my Instagram page, which is exclusively dedicated to my reading and writing habits. I've also continued making YouTube videos about writing and my writing life, so I'm going to count all of that as a win in the right direction. I've also been more serious about writing book reviews whenever I finish reading something, and those always go up on my Medium page and get shared on my Twitter. This is not only good for my platform, but it's also good for me as a writer because it forces me to think about the things that I've read and the way that I either want to avoid or try and emulate the way that that writer has written. Additionally, I've created a bookshop affiliate page, also linked in the description, you got it, and that means that if I've reviewed a book, I've listed it on my affiliate page. If you order it through that page, I get 10% of the proceeds. Step 9 is to start posting your work. I talked about this a little bit already in step 4 with sharing, but this is absolutely where I get stuck on every single project. I've been writing fan fiction since I was a kid, but I only recently started posting it, and even with the daily emails that I get when stuff is new, with kudos and comments, I still hesitate to post more because every single time, anxiety takes over. So I'm going to dedicate myself, starting today, to posting things to my Patreon. I may post pieces of my outline, chunks of my character studies, or pieces of the book itself. And I'm going to start subscriptions at $1 because why not? Posting videos has encouraged me to create content consistently, and I'm hoping that posting to my Patreon will have the same effect. Step 10 is to stick with it. Again, this step is kind of self-explanatory, and I definitely feel like I've been doing this. Over the last 2 months, sometimes it felt like I wasn't doing enough to warrant an update. But over the course of writing the script and filming this video, I've actually realized I've made a decent amount of progress, which is really different for me, considering I'm used to powering out 50,000 words in 30 days over the course of November. As I went over the steps and shuffled through some of the work that I've been doing, I felt better and better about the progress that I've been making. It's not a huge amount, but it's all building towards a final product. This week on Advice Jen can dish out, but she can't take. Make decisions and start making them early. Choose a fork in the road, whether it's in storytelling or character development or setting. Make bold decisions. Yes, making a definitive statement about which way your characters will go will eliminate all the other possibilities. And if you get 500 or 5,000 words in and decide that's not the road you want to take, then you'll know and you can go back and take that other road. But you can't edit what you haven't written, and if you don't get started, you'll never finish. Thank you all for watching this video. If you are working on a project, please let me know in the comments. Hit that like and subscribe button, and then ring the bell to make sure you get notified every time there's new content. Check out the description underneath the video for links to everything that I talked about here today, and to my social media where you can find me online. Have a great day, and stay safe and stay healthy.
Are you always this articulate?
Hercules. My name is Hercules.